Hey guys, Jamstrap here, and welcome back to another entry in my Which Army Should I Start series. And if this is the first one you're watching because you want to get into Death Guard, then this is a series I've been doing for every single army in 40k. Well, I'm going to try and get to every single army in 40k, and eventually maybe Age of Sigmar as well, where I go through some of the reasons why you might and might not want to start an army. So I'll be going through the aesthetics, the lore, the kind of playstyle, what it's going to look like when you're on the tabletop, what kind of units you might be buying and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not going to be going anything into like tournament play and stuff like that. That's not really my bag. It's all about rule of cool and what the army is all about. So yeah, without further ado, let's get talking about what you'll be looking at if you play Death Guard. So the first thing we're going to talk about with the Death Guard is the aesthetics. And man, do they have a very unique aesthetic. And I know a lot of people might not like it, or some people love it, but they are very, very detailed. Some people say too detailed, like they're a bit overdone. But I mean, that, like all things in this kind of thing, is subjective. So let's have a quick scroll down to show you kind of what I'm talking about here. So now, for example, let's look at the standard Plague Marine kit. So this is your standard kind of troop dudes, and this is what people are talking about when it comes to being a little bit over the top, especially if you're not like that good of a painter or you're quite intimidated by stuff like this. I mean, I personally am as well. There's a lot of work you need to do to these, even to get them to like a minimum standard. It's just so much work, and there's so many small details. I mean, like I said, this is your standard troops and you have to put in this much work. Normally, like army like leaders and characters have this much detail. So yeah, I mean, it's quite hard to even focus. I mean, where there's no like focal point to this guy. Like, I don't know what I'm looking at. He's got tongues and horns and symbols and more teeth and tongues and teeth and more teeth and skin. It's like, yeah, it definitely gets absolutely mental. So yeah, and the obvious kind of like general theme that the Death Guard go for, as you can see, he's kind of like a mutated, disgusting, like rotting flesh kind of thing going on. I mean, that's what happens when you praise Nurgle, I guess. He bestows his gifts upon you, and they're not very pleasant. But you can't go through the Death Guard army list without looking at Mortarion, the Primarch. This is your big bad. This is the leader of your army. Well, if you want him to be. And to be honest, if you're playing Death Guard, I don't know why you would not want this thing. I mean, it's one of the best models in 40k at the moment. So yeah, if you play Death Guard, at least you get this guy. And some other cooler units you get as well is the Death Shroud. They're kind of like the bodyguards to Mortarion. And even if he's not on the field, in the lore he kind of sends them out to watch over all these other leaders and stuff like that. He's the eyes of the army. Or they are the eyes of Mortarion, I should say. I absolutely love that unit. Very tanky and close combat focused, obviously. I mean, lore wise and playstyle wise, Death Guard are extremely tanky. They slow moving. They kind of slowly trudge up the field, blasting people away, and they just do not die. I mean, I've played games of hitting guys behind cover with some guns and they just blast everything apart with cover and how indestructible they are normally. Yeah, they don't go anywhere. So if you're the kind of guy, when you play like RPGs or MMOs or anything like that, you like to play the tank, you want lots of health, even though you're a little bit slow, but you can absolutely destroy stuff, Death Guard is for you. That's pretty much the playstyle in a nutshell. So like I said, the Plague Marines are your standard troops, but you can get your Poxwalkers, which are kind of like they're kind of like zombies in a way. They're mutated, disgusting, disease-infected zombie dudes, and they can get buffed up, and they're actually pretty good. Then you get like your Plague Burst Crawl, which is like a giant frog-looking mortar. Everything moves pretty slow, doesn't die, and hits hard. But like I say, you get some standard Chaos Space Marine stuff, like you get the Defiler as well, which is a bit of an older kit compared to how new the Death Guard are. Get the Hellbrood, Chaos Predator. Now the Blight Lord Terminators are awesome. I mean, this guy with the flail over here, definitely one of the best models in the range. Just that dude over there, it's awesome. And again, like everything else, these guys can shoot. They're kind of like a middle range kind of kit, but mainly just slowly walking forward, blasting away, and when they do get into combat, combat, they just rip you apart. And then you do get some quicker stuff like the blow drone. I think it goes up like 9 inches, so it's not like super amazing quick, if I remember correctly. But that comes in quite a few options as well. Again, it's nice to have some stuff that can kind of, I would say zoom around, but that's probably a bit exaggerated. So they kind of just, yeah, like I said, they got some like close combat options, but mostly they want to be flying around, shooting people, moving out of the way, doing that kind of stuff. Now your standard Plague Marines, like most Space Marines, they're quite versatile. You can go super shooty, you can go mid-range, you can go close combat. I think most people don't like going close combat with them, but I personally actually made one close combat unit just for shits and giggles, to be honest. I just wanted to do it for fun. But because they are like so indestructible, and like I said before, if you just give them all guns and stuff like that, sit them behind a wall and just, yeah, stay there. At least let your opponent try and take you out. It's much harder. Now you do get quite a few easy build kits as well. I think Death Guard is one of the easiest armies to get in right now, but I'll go over that towards the end. Let's just go over kind of what we're looking at in the army, what you're going to be buying, all that kind of stuff. Obviously you got Typhus here, he buffs up your Poxwalker zombie dudes. Beast of Nurgle, not a massive fan of this. It's a bit too silly for me personally. Now you can chuck in some demons as well. You got your little Plague Bearers there, you get your little Nurglings. You get quite a lot of like elites and HQ choices as well, like the Foul Blightspawn. And then you got your Plague Surgeon, he kind of helps you guys be even more durable. This guy buffs up your grenades. Everybody, they're very much like an aura based army when it comes to like their buffs and that. Everybody has to be in a certain range of their leaders and that's to get buffed up. So they're very, like, depending on the elites and the HQs you choose, they really define your play style. Like say if you want to go for like grenade bombs or you want to do Poxwalkers, you'll go for Typhus. They really change up the way you play. Now you get some Blight Haulers. You get 3 of these guys together. They shoot better, they move better if I remember correctly, and they also, if they're in range of the other guys, they actually give them a bit more of a better save as well, because they kind of like throw up a smoke in the air and people can't see them. But as for playstyle and what you would actually be looking at on the table, like I've kind of gone through the lore, and the lore and the playstyle kind of goes together. Like I said, slow, tanky, blasting away at things. Now, the way you would actually want to build your army just kind of depends on you. But if you want to go the kind of standard battalion way, you obviously want... Some people swear by Poxwalkers instead of the Plague Marines. But for me, I'm a lore kind of dude, rule of cool. I'll go for 2-3 units of these Plague Marines. Definitely get a giant blob of Poxwalkers in there. And then just choose the HQs that you want. Like I said, your HQs in this army really define the way you're going to play. So generally, you're going to have quite a... You won't have too many bodies on the table. I mean, Death Guard, I wouldn't say they're elite, but they're definitely not a swarm army. Especially if you start chucking in more like Mortarion and some of the Death Shroud and all that kind of stuff. So you can go elite or as horde as you want. You can add loads of Poxwalkers, do what you want. And I just realized the Nurgle Demon Prince is not in this list. That's a bit weird. But yeah, you can add some Demon Princes in this. Like I say, you can add in, or you can just ally in demons in general. But yeah, to summarize, you're going to want quite a few units sitting around in the back, just not moving, or maybe moving up slowly, getting objectives, shooting people. You want to have a couple Plague Marines. You want your Terminators teleporting in, hassling people, all that kind of stuff. They move very slow, so you have to be very careful of where you put them. Yeah, it's kind of like your general Space Marine kind of style. You can do what you want with it. They're quite versatile, but mostly just tanky. Now I just wanted to go over quickly on how you could get into the army. Like I said, this is probably one of the easiest ones to get into, apart from like Primaris Space Marines. So for one, you get this Dark Imperium set, which I'm going to open up for you guys here. If you're looking at Death Guard, you've probably already looked at this. But yeah, you get a lot in you. So you get quite a sizable amount of Plague Marines, you get a shed ton of Poxwalkers, you got your little Bloat Drone, you got your Plague Caster, which you can't buy outside of this box. You get, what is this guy's name again? Blightbringer or something? I can't remember now. It's slipping my mind. But yeah, you can't get this guy separately either. He kind of helps you guys move forward quicker. This guy's just a giant tanky combat specialist kind of dude. He doesn't have any ranged weapons. And this guy, man, you have to have one of him in your army. He just buffs up your Terminators and your Plague Marines till they're literally indestructible. Trust me, I've done it before and it's awesome. Yeah, you definitely want this because that's pretty much your core of your army. This is what your army is going to look like. This is what you want. You want Poxwalkers, Plague Marines, drones for a little bit of like hassling, some magic support, got some combat dudes, and some advancing kind of stuff going on there. Lots of buffing. Get loads of HQs and stuff to buff up your troops. Well, not HQs, just elites. So yeah, this is a great way, especially if you want to split it or you want to keep the Primaris Space Marines. Next up, you also get the No Fear set. So if you want to start in a bit smaller, this comes with like pretty much the same as Dark Imperium, but like only a couple of the units that are in there. And like I said before, you get the easy to build stuff. So for example, if you got the Dark Imperium set, nice and cheap, if you split it with somebody, and you don't want to spend too much money to expand on it, buy this little kit here. You get yourself 3 Terminators, another like Lord with a different weapon, you get another kind of fast moving unit, more Plague Marines, more Poxwalkers. Once again, that's your core of your army. So yeah, very easy army to get into, quite cheap. And if you're not intimidated by the crazy painting factor and you like tankiness, it's definitely the army for you guys. But yeah, that's it for this one. Let me know if I've missed anything. Like I said, I'm not a tournament kind of dude, so I'm just going on what's cool and generally what you're going to be looking at. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, drop a like below. Check out my channel for hobby content because I release stuff like this every single week. And subscribe if you want to. See you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.